If you're surprised to see me doing a video today, how do you think I feel? I mean, listen, I'm looking in the camera and I'm shocked. You know, over the past 12, 15 years, I've probably done some 6,000 different videos. Between the 10 years that I was on FoxSports.com, from when I was doing TV in New York and Philadelphia and Chicago and Cleveland and God knows where else, because I even forget at this point in life. And then, of course, the videos that I've done here on the site over all these years. But today I thought, what the hell? I happen to be at my house in Philadelphia for only the second time in the past 7 months. And oh, by the way, whatever the messiest room in your house happens to be, you know, the one that your wife is always on you to clean up, it does not compare to my office. Now, I have a studio up on the 3rd floor in my house. I have a studio out in my garage, neither of which I have used in the past couple of years. But I also have a studio here in my office because everybody should have 3 TV studios in their own house, right? I mean, don't you have 3 studios in your house too? But I come into my office today. This is the first time I've been in here again in the last 7 months. Well, I had to dig out all the junk just to find my lights. Then I had to find and move all the junk from my chair just to find a place to sit. So now that I actually realize, hey, there's a desk in here too, hell, I might shoot a video tomorrow since I realize that I have a chair and a desk. Never know. But one thing about week number 4 of the college football season that I've always found kind of unique. Some of your Power 5 conferences are starting today with conference action, all of them definitely by next week. But I always find the lines are a little bit skewed. And what I mean is this. So many college coaches have started to mimic their NFL brethren, where NFL coaches during the preseason, of course, they rest a lot of the regulars, which we already know, but they play it very close to the vest with vanilla schemes offensively. College coaches, more and more over the recent years, have done the exact same thing when they beat up the little sisters of the poor and the cupcakes they play in non-conference play, because they don't want their opponents in conference play game planning against them, because they don't want them to have most of the elements of their true offense on film, so defense coordinators can take advantage of that. So what happens is, when you have a good team playing one of those cupcakes, maybe they blow them out, maybe they don't, but you're not often seeing the true offensive capabilities of those teams. So consequently, maybe you see a Power 5 team not look that impressive against a cupcake. Well, what happens is you have a skewed line. And that line is giving you some value then when conference play starts. And conversely, you know, maybe you have some blowouts and, you know, maybe they deserve to be even bigger favorites and they are. You know, so, but it's something that you just have to consider when you look at when conference play starts, and you have to reflect backwards and say, hey, did they blow that team out? Did they struggle? Was it because they sucked, or because they were really playing it close to the vest, because they didn't want to expose all their cards so fellow conference coaches could see what they were bringing to the table when conference play began? And it's just another little box that you have to tick off in that mental checklist when you're handicapping games. And I've noticed that's been a trend more prevalent over the past 5 or 7 years or so. In the old days, they just wanted to kick ass and get ready for the regular season. Not now. It's just not the case anymore. Now, you're not going to find that when Conference USA teams are playing somebody from the Sun Belt Conference. I just don't find that to be the case. But again, just keep that in the back of your mind. Okay, with that being said, let's talk about a couple of games that I did like today and I wanted to make note of. Now, SEC, you do have conference play starting today. Of course, the premier game that I want to talk about is the game between Arkansas and Texas A&M. Now, Razorback fans, you would wish that game would be in Fayetteville. Unfortunately, it might as well be a home game for Texas A&M because it's being played in Arlington at the Cowboys Stadium. And, you know, that's only a hop, skip, and a jump from Kyle Field and College Station, which, if you ever get a chance to go through Bryan, Texas, College Station, and look at Kyle Field, it's pretty damn impressive. I got to tell you, I've been through there twice. Whenever I travel, I like going to college campuses and checking out the football stadiums. I know that's crazy, but I've been to a lot of them in this country. And Yeah, that's a pretty damn impressive one, let me tell you. But anyway, listen, the thing about Arkansas, I like the 5.5 points here. And if that line's 5.5, you bet your bottom dollar I am buying up that half point to 6 on Arkansas. Arkansas opens with the 38-17 win against Rice. I thought they were going to lose. I thought they were going to lose bad against Texas. Yeah, they beat Texas 40-21, and you know as well as me, that score was not indicative of how they absolutely dominated the Longhorns in that game. And then, no letdown, they kicked Georgia Southern's ass last week 45-10. Their ground game, 207 yards against Rice, 333 yards against the Longhorns, 269 yards against Georgia Southern. Now, look at what Texas A&M did. They beat a cupcake in week number 1, Kent, 41-10. Then their starting quarterback, Haynes King, gets hurt in Boulder against Colorado. Zach Calzada, I think is how you pronounce his name. The backup comes in, rallies them to the victory 10-7 at Colorado. This is the same Colorado team that last week is a 2-point favorite at home, loses by 30-0 to Minnesota. So what does that tell you about the Buffaloes? And then last week they beat New Mexico at home 34-0. Yeah, they've allowed just 17 points on the season, but they played Kent, Colorado, and New Mexico. Big deal. Calzada, he was okay at Colorado, 18 for 38, 183 yards. He was okay against New Mexico, 19 for 33, 275 yards, 3 touchdowns. But it was New Mexico. Seriously, they sucked. They have a great running game, they being the Aggies. But so does Arkansas, led by that quarterback, KJ Jefferson, who, remember how magnificent he was against Texas? 14 for 19, 138 yards through the air, and then 10 carries, 73 yards rushing. And you remember how Arkansas just stopped Texas in its tracks. Texas couldn't run the ball. Texas couldn't throw the ball. Listen, I think this is a low-scoring game. I think this is a 3-point game, a 4-point game. This could be 21-17. This could be 24-20. I'm taking the 5.5 points, and I'm buying up the 6, and I'm going with Arkansas. Another game at 3:30 Eastern Time. I like Iowa, minus the 23.5 points at home against Colorado State. Colorado State, season opener, lost to South Dakota State at home by 20 points. Week number 2, Colorado State against Vanderbilt. Up 14-0, lost the game 24-21. Last week, they go to Toledo, a 2-touchdown underdog. They win 22-6, 1 touchdown offensively. Lots of defensive injuries. Their top wide receiver is hurt. They've got no offense. Quarterback play has been miserable. Iowa last week, no letdown after beating Iowa State the week before 27-17. Took care of business at home against Kent 30-7. Of course, they beat Indiana in their home opener. They take on Maryland on the road next week. 23.5 points. I think they should be favored by 28, 30. I think Colorado State is that bad. And Iowa's a damn good defensive team, too. One of the best in the conference. Love Iowa in the spot. Early card, noon Eastern. Army, 7.5 at home against Miami of Ohio. Same thing always goes with Army. You can't game plan for a team that runs that triple option. And because Army's going to control the clock, it's going to limit your offensive possessions and your scoring opportunities. They beat up UConn 52-21. Western Kentucky, 38-25 was your final score, but they had a monstrous lead in that game before the Hilltoppers scored a couple of late touchdowns to make it respectable. Redhawks beat Long Island University. You, me, and 9 others could beat Long Island University. Ooh, that was mean. First 2 games, they lost at Cincinnati 49-14, lost at Minnesota 31-26. Those teams didn't run the triple option. They're going to have problems today. I like the Black Knights minus the 7.5. In order, I like Arkansas, close second Iowa, Army would be third. As for me today, my top play, listen, I created these sites 20 years ago. I have the 26th ever 30-dime college football play of my career. 26th. In 20 years. It's the biggest play I release in any sport. It's on your night game between Michigan State and Nebraska. You get it as the half price play of the day by using coupon code RARE, R-A-R-E, spell it after me. I've won the last 3 national championship games, for example. They were all been my normal top-rated 15-dime play. This is twice as big. All the details over on the website. That'll do it. I wish you well. And, yeah, maybe I'll be talking to you tomorrow. Maybe I'll even dye my beard by then. You know, you wear a mask every day. It's like you don't even think about dyeing it anymore. Who sees it? Later, guys. Good luck.